how is sort of the modern way that we build applications changing the complexity of troubleshooting what's going wrong for IT ops teams?
Yeah. So applications, as you said, can the velocity of change is just incredible, right? I mean, you're adding, with the CI/CD agile framework, you could be adding features on a very frequent basis. And whereas the infrastructure side, the velocity of change is much smaller, right? If you look at traditional networking devices, they have a typical lifespan of 7 years. So you don't change those out for 7 years at least, right? And same and the compute infrastructure, of course, you do change out a lot more often. Maybe the software side of it, if not the hardware. Um, However, the application side is just the velocity is much higher. And then you're also doing, with the CI/CD framework, you're doing, dev, test, and then eventually rolling out to the prod side of it. So which means that the ability for guaranteeing the user experience, end of the day, it's all user
Mhm,
focused, which
mhm,
means it's application focused. Our philosophy at Heal is, we believe that the user is the ultimate customer for us, which means the application that serves the user, that's what we control. We can't control the user. We can only control the application. We can only monitor the application. That becomes our central tenet. So everything is based and optimized on that. So with this architecture that you mentioned, especially with the new architecture, it the complexity of not only monitoring but also finding the root cause, is a non-trivial problem,
mhm.
right? It's no longer that you have, seven possibilities and you're picking between one of the seven. It's infinite possibilities. So first of all, what AIOps does is, if you let it learn over a period of time, let's say 1 or 2 weeks or more, it can understand seasonalities, right? Depending on how often the seasonalities happen. If it happens on a daily basis, couple weeks is good enough. If it happens on a weekly basis, then you sort of train it over a multiple week time period.
Mhm.
It can tease out the seasonalities, which means it knows that, a Monday or a Tuesday, this is what happens. So I know this is likely to happen. And if there's a deviation, that's what you kind of want to do. So you control for the seasonality. Number two, you control for business driven stuff, right? You have a promotion for a particular holiday, um, President's Day car sale, and if you're a car dealership, you know that your application that is going to deal with number of people that are going to come in and check out your cars or buy through your site is going to increase by a certain amount. So previous learnings, that if I put an ad in a number of TV stations, I will have 60% increase the next morning, right, or the next couple of days. So I
Mhm.
can factor that in as well. Then the third is completely unanticipated stuff, and that's what, end of the day, we want to be able to find out rather quickly. First of all, expected behavior and actual behavior. If there's a statistically significant difference, then you start going and digging in and finding out what the problem could be, the root cause. So once you identify that, then you can figure out what the potential solutions could be, because it's never good enough to say that you have a problem. Just like what
Mhm.
we don't go to our bosses and say we have a problem. We need to go in and say, here are two or three possible solutions.
Yeah.
Let's debate on which one is better. That's the same approach that we like to take as well. But just to close out to your question, with this architecture, with the pace, velocity of application development, feature development, it's important to know all of this and constantly learn. So it's not a one-time exercise. It is a non-stop, daily, everyday thing that the machine has to do. And human beings, we can never do that. We
Yeah.
all have short-term memories, right?